Just before we get started, I just like to make a few comments. I used to trade futures contracts about, 20 or 25 years ago. And when I seen when crypto first started coming out, I was like, man, I can't wait till they have an exchange or something to trade that on. So as soon as they start building these exchanges like Coinbase, and I started trading, I already had a system. Already had a system of trading from futures contracts, so I knew exactly how I wanted to trade crypto when it was available to day trade like this. I love to get in and out of stuff fast. I guess personally, I've never liked to hold like stocks or anything for long term, because then you can't decide when to sell it when it's up. But with this cryptocurrency day trading, I love the volatility of it, so that's why I like doing this. And then so I've been doing it for several years, and tried a couple of other bots, and we actually lost money on those. So that's why we built our own, designed and had this one built for us. So I guess we'll go ahead and get into it. And obviously, this isn't financial advice, so everybody needs to do their own research. So we're just sharing information that basically the kind of the learning we've done trading over the last 5 to 6 years. So right here this is what our bot looks like. For those that haven't got it yet, maybe most of you have already subscribed to it. But right here with this is the add chart. This tile here for adding the chart, click on there. You can scroll through the charts, whichever one you're looking for. You can type it in or scroll through there and click on it, and then click add on, and it'll bring up the chart. So you can have a dozen or more charts up at the same time. And then if you're done trading that coin for a while, you can take the chart and close it out, or take it and drop it down in the trash can, move it off your computer screen. So it's not just cluttering it up if you're not trading that coin anymore. So you just add the chart and it just brings it up, so you have two of them there. Over here on this other place order tile, we have that chart there, the index that we just brought up. If that's the coin you want to trade, on the top it says current balance. That would be your available balance to trade with that isn't already in open orders on coins. So, and that's what you'd have available from your whatever's in your Coinbase account. When you're connected to this bot, it just shows the amount that's the current available balance amount, the same amount that's in your Coinbase account. When you place
this is the USD though, not USDC, and it won't show anything that's on orders like in crypto or anything like that. It's just USD only.
Yeah, if you have anything on orders on Coinbase, it's not going to show it in that current balance. But after you select the coin you want to trade, then you put the total purchase amount. We have 250 in there. And then the number of DCAs, the most common is 5, but it just depends. If a coin's up 200 or 300% within a couple of days and you still want to trade it, then you might want to increase your DCA amount, so that if it drops quite a bit, then you can follow it down with more DCA, so you would be safer doing that with adding more, but the most common is 5. And then the DCA type that's on percentage right now, you can change that to dollar amount if you want, but I've never traded using the dollar amount. I did when we first built the bot, I just to try it out, but I don't do it anymore. It's always just leave it on percentage. And then the DCA spread is the percentage amount you want your trades, or you want your DCAs filled at or traded at. So if the 5 in there is 5%, so it'll buy once it buys in your first initial buy of your first DCA, then it'll sell at 5%. The bot will automatically put a sell order 5% higher than that, and then 5% below that is it'll just buy more of will buy your other DCA levels that the bot automatically places in there for you. And then the strike price is pretty much where the coin is trading at or below. If you put the strike price too high, if it's real high, the bot won't. It'll just put up. It'll pop up. Will come up and say that your price is too high. And we had to do that because if you put it too high, it would pick up all your DCAs at the same time if you put it really high.
I was just going to say that the bot is designed to take in these boxes that you see here, it's designed to take that 250 and split it into 5 orders, starting at the strike price you put in and based on the DCA spread that you put in. So if you are trading something with 5 DCAs and 5% apart, it's going to place those orders 5% apart automatically. And so if you try and buy something 25% above market price, it's just going to fill all of those orders instantly. So the safety is there is a little warning pop-up. If you go more than 10% above market price, there's a little warning message that pops up, and you can allow the trade to go through anyway, or you can change it. One of the reasons why we did that is because I was trading a coin that was 1 penny, so you would put in 0.01, and I ended up putting in 0.1, and that's like a 1,000%. That's 1,000% above the current price because of a typo, and ended up buying everything at market. So that's the purpose of that safety. And you can choose to allow it to go through anyway if you like.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, that are new, DCA just stands for dollar cost averaging. So when it buys the first DCA level, which is the first, and then it buys the next one, it buys more on the second level, and then way more on the third one, and so on. So it brings your dollar cost average down so that it can sell. It can sell it low, just from a little bounce, instead of having to go. It don't have to return to where you first bought in at. So once you place the order and it appears on the current order tile. So right here, it has all these across the top. It says the asset means what the coin that you're trading, that you bought, is the index. The DCA status, it shows one of 5, so that means it picked up 1 out of the 5 DCAs that you placed. And then the average buy rate was $1.39, and then it shows the amount that it spent on just that first DCA, which is $3.79 out of your 250, because the rest of the other 200, the remaining of the 250 is split up in the rest of DCAs. And then the amount was 279 coins, and the cost was $5.27. And then right here, the current profit is just at 0 because the coin hasn't moved. And then right here with that plus sign, if you want to click on that, it'll expand that order you placed, and it'll show you where all your other buy strike prices are. If the coin goes down, it'll pick up, and it has the amount and then the prices that'll pick them up. And It tells you where it's at right here. It says it bought the first one is filled. The other ones are just open orders. So when if the price of the coin goes down, it'll pick up these other orders, and the bot automatically adjusts your sell price each time it picks up a new order. Or if it goes up and doesn't pick up anymore and it sells you out, then the bot automatically cancels all other orders in this story, and then you're done, and it moves that off into the order history. And then you're done with that story. And if you want to go and do it again, you can go back to the order tile, the place order, and place another order if you like with the coin. If you like that coin still moving a lot and you want to trade it again. So over here on the right, there's this big X that cancels the order. If you placed an order and then you decide you want to cancel it, you just click on that and the window pops up. You have to confirm it. But I don't ever cancel an order if it's already picked up any of it. And so on this one, it already picked up one DCA. So if you ended up canceling this order, it'll cancel it, the whole order. And then if you had bought any coins, you have to go on your Coinbase account and sell those coins. So I never cancel an order unless I cancel orders all the time, but that's when I'm trying to buy a coin and the coin's moving up real fast and it doesn't pick up any. And then I'll go back. If I decide to, I'll go back and cancel some of the orders I put in. If it did, as long as it didn't pick up any of the coins from that order. Over here is this hamburger menu. If you click on that, there's 4 options. The first one is to add a DCA level. So if the coin has dropped way down and picked up all 5 of the DCAs that you put in and it's still going down and you want to add another one, this is where you do it. The strike price there, it was usually, if you're trading the coin at 5% on the spread, then you put the strike price roughly 5% below your last buy, below the 5th DCA buy. Unless it's even lower than that, then you'd buy it then you just put the strike price in, where it's trading at. And then the amount of coins, and that's how you calculate to add a DCA is usually 2 times whatever the last buy is, 2 times that amount of coins, and then I'll add on the previous buy. So if you did 5 DCAs and on the 5th DCA, I would take whatever coins I bought there and I'd double that amount and then add the amount of coins I bought on the 4th DCA, and that's the amount. That gives me the amount of coins that I would buy. And you can put in more or less. If you do that calculation, then you want to buy a lot more than that, then it will bring your dollar cost average down, and you can actually sell them at a smaller bounce when the coin wouldn't have to return as high to sell you out. So it's actually a lot nicer if you can afford to buy more. So this next option is to change the sell price. If you want to, the bot automatically puts your sell prices in each time it picks up a DCA. But if you want to change it yourself and change it or sell it at a less of a profit, or if you can go in and you see if the coin's moving a lot and you want to change it to a lot higher sell price, you can do that. Just change the sell price to wherever you want it there, and then submit that, and it'll change the sell price. What I noticed, I did it a couple of times. I picked the coin was moving a lot, so it picked up my first DCA out of it on the story, and then the bot automatically put the sell price in 5% higher. And if I seen the coin might be moving a lot, I decided I go in and the sell price to 10% or even 15% higher in case the coin moved up. But if it goes down and picks up your second DCA, then the bot automatically just places the sell price at the normal way it would, just 5% up. And you can go in and back in and change it again if you want. If you think you can get if you think the coin's going to be moving a lot and shooting way up further, you can do that and make a little more profit by doing that. The third option is to liquidate an order, so if you click on here and liquidate an order, it'll just, if you have any coins that are in that story that you bought, it'll cancel any other open orders to buy anymore, and it'll sell what you have in there at the market price, wherever the coin is trading at. Yeah, you could use it there's different reasons to use it, but I don't know that I ever have yet. Then this fourth feature is what we call the extinguisher. So we created this feature to replace what everybody uses as their commonly used stop loss that people use in futures contract trading or stock trading. So that if you buy into like a futures contract, and it drops way down, you can put a stop loss in, so it'll sell you out before it drops too much, where you can't afford to cover it with your margin calls, which crypto trading doesn't have margin calls unless you trade on margin, which I never do. I guess they have that option, but I have never even looked into it, and I don't trade that way. Because when I buy coin, because this way, when you're not trading on margin, the way we're trading is we own the coins. When you buy the coins, you own them outright. So even if the coin drops way down and 50% down, you still own those coins. So the only way you would lose money is if you sell them at a loss, where when it drops down, or you hold on to them and wait for them to come back up. So with this extinguisher, it's a way to consistently grow your portfolio and stop getting stuck in coins. And mostly it's for self-discipline. The way the extinguisher works, if you're in a coin that's down in the red, say 10%, and it's just there, and you don't think it's going to come up for a while, and you don't want to just wait, you can turn this extinguisher on that story, and then any profitable sells from any other coin you sell, it takes half those profits and gets you out of a little bit of the stuck coins that you're in on that when you turn the extinguisher on. If you're down in the red 10% on a coin, you can just sell it out, the whole thing out if you want, and just take your loss and move on. But with the extinguisher, the reason I love it is because it's not selling you out of any of those stuck coins, but that you're making a profit every time. So you're not just taking a loss and then trying to make up the loss later. The way this works is it gets you out of those coins a little at a time and frees up your money, and you're still making a profit at the same time. So it frees up the money that was in those coins that you were stuck in. So here's the order history. So each time you completed a order and it sells you out, then it moves it to the order history tile, and you can go look at it anytime you want and see what you made on it. So it has the coin you traded here, the DCA is filled. So right here it says 3 of 5. That means you placed 5 DCA orders, but it only filled 3 before it sold you out. And then the average buy rate, the amount of coins, the average sell rate, and the profit results. And over here is the fees, but the fees have already taken out of this. So this is the total profit after the Coinbase's fees are already taken out. And then the total amount you spent on that story, the total cost, and then the total amount after it was what it sold for. So on the order history, currently it's set up that each one of these, when you go to order history, there's 100 orders on that page. So if you want to go to another page or a date, you can put the date in, or you can just put a page number in, and it'll go to the next page, number 2 or 3 or whichever you want there. And you can go here to either completed orders or open orders or canceled or error. You can select any of those. I usually just go to the completed orders. I've hardly ever looked at any other orders personally, but once in a while I do. Any one of these completed orders you can click on, and it'll expand it and show you exactly how it went. So it picked up the first order here, and then the bot placed a sell order, but the coin went down and picked up the next one, so the bot canceled the sell order. That's why you have two canceled orders right here, or two canceled sell orders. So when it went down and picked up the second DCA, the bot canceled the first sell order and then replaced it with another sell order on the whole total amount of coins from the two DCAs. And then it went down more and picked up the third DCA, so the bot canceled the sell order again and then placed a new sell order for all three DCAs, and it placed the sell order at 132, which was your second DCA. So when it does that, that's why we do that. So it's designed so the coin never has to go to the highest point to your first buy to sell you out, because a lot of times you'd be waiting a long time. You could be waiting a long time for that. You just want to get in and out of these stories as fast as you can, because I have done. I've traded I make anywhere from 100 to 500 completed trades a day using this bot. So we like to get in and out of as fast as you can get it. If the coin's really moving, you can get in and out of each story really fast. And they just keep, when it sells me out of one, if I like what the coin's doing, if the coin's still really moving along, I'll just get right back in. I'll just put another story right back in, another order, and do it again. Anywhere from 100 to 500 trades a day. So that's how the bot works. We've gone over all of that. I think we covered most everything on that. And then we just have some examples of how this system works, this trading system works. So when a coin starts moving, and if we like what it's doing, then I'll just jump in the coin when it starts moving and buy. When that coin took off, just bought in right there. It's 6.5 cents, and the bot automatically places the sell price roughly 5% higher if that's what you set it at. Sells you out, and then you're done with that story. The coin keeps going up, and you're watching it, and if you like it again, then you can buy and clear it even the way at the top. And all these buy points are about 5% apart. Picked up 5 DCAs, and then all it has to do is bounce up that high and sells you out at the previous buy. Then if you still like what the coin's doing, you can do it again, buy in again. Right there, picked up 4 DCAs before it bounced up enough to sell you out. So in that example right there, on that coin, it was in and out 3 times on that. So each one of those candles, I think on that picture there is another 15 minutes. So that's just an example of how this works. So on risk management, put all these up here. So a story, what we call a story is just an order when you place an order, and that's one story. And when I'm trading a coin, I usually put a half a dozen orders on one coin, so a half a dozen stories, and the bot keeps each one of those separate. So I'll put an order in, and then I'll just change my strike price just a little bit lower and put another order in, then change it a little bit lower and put another one in. So I'm buying at entering that coin at several different strike prices. So each story, I don't like putting more than roughly around 2 to 2.5% of my total portfolio balance is in each story, and then I'll put, a half a dozen stories in one coin, or anywhere from a half a dozen to 10 stories. But the total amount for each coin, you really don't want to exceed more than 10%, maybe 15% of your total portfolio in each coin. And the reason why for that is if that coin slows down and just drops down and then stops moving for a while, you only have 10% of your total portfolio in that. So the other 90%, you can still be trading other coins while you're waiting for that one to come back up. Because I personally, most of the time, I'm always stuck in a coin or two just because that happens. Coin stops moving. Put them in night mode and just ignore them, I'll turn the extinguisher on them and get out of them that way. But I usually don't use the extinguisher unless I've had them for at least a couple of weeks and it doesn't look like the coin's going to come back up for a while.
One of the things to consider, this will be a little more difficult for those of you with really small portfolios. And what I mean by that is, in order to get a good story of, let's say, 5 DCAs and 5%, you almost have to have between $200 and $250 to place that story. So if that's half of your portfolio, that's half of your portfolio. This kind of stuff comes into play when your portfolio is a little larger.
Yeah, because the coins have a minimum amount you can buy. So if you put too small of amount on a story, it won't even buy that story. It'll say it's too small of amount. So you either have to put less DCAs or more money on the story. So when when your portfolios are bigger, you shouldn't have that problem. Yeah, okay, so on stable coins, don't work with this method of trading, because a stable coin is tethered to the US dollar or Japanese yen or the euro, different currencies, so they don't move. They hardly move at all. So you stay away from them. Don't even try it on the stable coins. And then newly listed coins are usually high risk, because what I've known lately is when Coinbase announces they're going to add a new coin, everybody's buying it before you can even trade it on Coinbase, and drives the price way up. And then when it hits Coinbase, as soon as it's available to trade on Coinbase, all those people that bought it on other exchanges, they start taking profits. So the coin will usually hits Coinbase, and it shoots. A lot of times it'll shoot up and then just drop straight back down because everybody's taking their profits. Or it hits Coinbase at a really high price, higher than where it's been trading on the internet. And then everybody that was buying it before it hit Coinbase, they all start taking profits and it just drops. So that's what happens some of the times. Other times they move really well, so you just got to be careful. So the 24-hour trade volume, when I go on Coinbase, switch it to advanced trade. And on advanced trade, they have a 24-hour change. If you click on the 24-hour change, it shows you what coins are up the most in 24 hours. If you click on it again, it'll show you what coins are down the most in the last 24 hours. So when I'm looking for a coin that I want to trade, or if I go shopping for a coin, then I'll go to that 24-hour change and see what coins are up the most in the last 24 hours. So if there's a coin that's up, say, 50%, then I'll bring up the chart on that coin, and then I will look where it's been on the day chart, go to the day chart, and see where it's been for the last couple of months to see where the support levels are. And then I'll usually use the 1-minute chart to trade. I do anyway, on the 1-minute chart. And if I like the 1-minute chart to see that it's been moving volatile up and down more than 5%, regularly, just, and then it's a coin I want to trade. And then I look at the day chart to see. I kind of look at the day chart to see where the support levels are, because if it's not up real high, but it's moving really good, then I can put less DCAs and less than 5 DCAs and less than 5%. And I like to do that because then it doesn't have to move as much to buy and sell your coins. But I won't do less than 5 DCAs and 5% if the coin's really high over the last couple of days. If it's up 100%, then I got to be really careful not putting enough DCAs in, because you won't be able to follow it down very far. Currently, the 24-hour trade volume on Bitcoin is $2.5 billion. So $2.5 billion worth of Bitcoin has traded hands on Coinbase in the last 24 hours. Most of the other coins are, a few million. Sometimes they get up to, once in a while, you get some of these other altcoins up to 100 million trade volume in 24 hours. The other day, SHIB passed up Bitcoin and had a bigger trade volume than Bitcoin for a little bit. But you want to usually look for a pretty good trade volume so that there's enough people buying that coin or buying and selling it, so your orders will get filled fast. So that's why you want to look for it where it has a pretty good trade volume. Currently, when the markets were a little bit slower a couple of months ago, we were always looking for a trade volume for at least 500,000. But with the markets moving a lot more, it's almost, there's not too many coins that currently that have that low of a trade volume right now. The recent highs and lows, that's where I look on the day chart to see the recent highs and lows, so you can see where it's been, to kind of get an idea of the amount of DCAs you want to put in there, and the recent highs and lows, the recent support levels, and then the average movement. That all just plays into deciding if you want to trade the coin. And then once you decide you want to, then you got to decide by the support levels, decide how many DCAs you want to do and what percentage spread. The other day, a coin was just really, really moving, so I changed my percentage to like 10% for a little bit, which I hardly ever do that, because the problem with a real big percentage, real big spread, is when the coin slows down, drops down, picks up all your DCAs, and then it slows down and isn't moving very much. You still have to have a 10% bounce from the last buy to get you out. But if you can keep it at more of a 5%, when the coin slows down, you only have to have a 5% bounce to get you out. So there just has to be a balance on all that. Let's go into just an example of a new coin. This is one of the coins I actually have been trading this last couple of days. But this coin was added, it's probably been 2 or 3 years. But when it hit Coinbase, it opened at 12.5 cents. And immediately went up, and it topped out at 17.5. When we took this image, this coin was 7 cents.
I watched this go from 17 cents to a half a penny in a matter of a couple of months. Now it's back up around that 5 cent range. Yeah, you just got to be careful for these newly listed ones. That's a perfect example of shooting up and dropping right back down. And it was down low, down by that half penny mark for over a year. You'd be waiting a long time. You still would be waiting if you bought it at 17 cents.
The people that bought that 17 cent high, it may never go there again. You don't know. On some of these bounces, it would have got you out using this trading method with our bot. But you still have to be careful with these. So if you would have bought this coin and you didn't get out, you'd be stuck in them for a year, 2 years, or you could use the extinguisher on, or you could just liquidate at a loss. But I would have probably just used the extinguisher on them, turned the extinguisher on, and got out of them with that way. So that's why you have to be careful with newly listed coins. So sometimes they'll do that. Sometimes they don't, but you just got to be aware of it. A lot of times, if there's a coin, if Coinbase lists a new coin and it's moving pretty good, and I like it, I go on and go to CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko, and you can type that coin in, and they'll show you where it's been before it was on Coinbase. So sometimes it's a brand new coin, and other times it's been out there on other exchanges and stuff for 2 or 3 years. So you can bring it up on CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap and see where that coin has been, and then you can compare it to where it currently is on Coinbase and decide if you want to trade it or not. Another high risk is when coins have been just going along there where that flat line is, and then just all of a sudden shoot up 300% within minutes. Those are kind of high risk, because when they shoot straight up like that, they're going to come back down. So if you decide to trade a coin like this, you want to just increase your DCA amounts and maybe your percentage spreads. I like to increase my percentage spread before I add another DCA. Personally, that's how I like doing it. But when a coin's way up like that, you'd probably want to put more DCAs on it and more percent, so that you can follow it down more when it does drop. If you decide to do that when it's up at the top like that, or you can just not trade it and wait and see if it comes back down. So that's pretty much it on that. And we just mentioned the taxes a little bit. Currently, the IRS wants a record of every trade you make when doing this. So the tax code obviously changes constantly. But currently, this is what it is: short-term capital gains. I know this year I'm probably going to have anywhere from probably 30 to 50,000 trades at least by using CoinLedger. They're the best program we found. I know Coinbase offers something.
Coinbase doesn't really offer any sort of accounting software. They'll give you the transactions, and you have to sort them yourself, and you have to match buys and sells, dates and amounts. They'll print you off a statement with all the transactions, then you have to make them line up. Versus CoinLedger does all of that for you, and they provide tax documents, and then they provide, it's literally in the name, they provide that ledger with all the transactions, buys and sells matched up and everything. And a lot of people ask about pricing. Their pricing is between $50 and $500 for a year. But once you've purchased that, you can download or edit or change your information that you've given to them as many times as you want for that year. It's a one-time payment for the year. I could go back and review and re-download documents from 3 years ago and not have to pay them again for it.
Yeah, so far that's the best program we've come across for doing that. And I know the short-term capital gains amount is just basically based on whatever everybody's individual tax bracket is. Most I can say is you need to get a creative accountant to do your taxes. I think this is getting about the end.